You're watching Mugen TV RPG Haven. Experience a fantasy like no other.
Hey guys, it's Mugalore here, and I'm back again with another video, and I just must say that Final Fantasy VII Remake is finally here, and I'm super excited. It just seemed like this game would never ever happen. A lot of us fans has been waiting for a day that they remake this title, and Square Enix had pretty much answered our call and finally delivered with the game, and I just can't believe that I'm just holding the game in my hand and actually playing it. It just feels like a dream right now. So I decided that I was going to wait, for a few hours so I can get my playtime in there and then give you my overall first impressions of the game. But before I dive into that, I also want to let you know that my brother Keel Lancer, DX Strike, and I had did an unboxing on Keel Lancer Gaming's YouTube channel of the deluxe edition of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'll post a link in the description below to my brother's channel so you can go check out the video and tell me that Mugalore sent you. And if you like his content, make sure you subscribe. So let us move on. I spent about like 8 hours with the game so far, and before we dive into this, I just want to let you guys know I won't be spoiling anything as far as the story is concerned. So I won't be showing any story cutscenes, and I won't be revealing any of the boss fights. But what I will be showing is the exploration of Midgard, so you guys can get an overall feel as I explain what I feel about the exploration in the game. And I also won't be digging into any other type of story bits or elements that Square Enix have not shown in the trailer. So there will be mixes of the trailers and some of my gameplay so far with the game. So let us dive right into it. And first of all, I want to talk about the visuals for a second. And I know a lot of people talk about the visuals from what they've shown in the trailers and what they have shown in the demo. I must say, after playing the demo, I was already floored by how beautiful the game looked. But now actually getting my hands on the actual game, you can tell that the beta was just the early build of the game. Now that we got our hands on the final build, the game looks even better. I'm impressed. And the thing that really gets me, I was expecting that my PS4 would make a lot of noise like a jet engine when playing the game compared to other games that has been released. But no, my PS4 hums like a bird right now. So that's a good thing. It's not making a lot of noise. Another thing too is the install time. There's been talks that this game is going to take a long time to install, but it really installed right away. So I was really surprised about that, knowing the fact is that this game has been put into a lot of care as far as the visuals. And Midgard, oh my god, Square Enix has done a really good job with Midgard. They actually successfully made it feel like a living, breathable world. It feels like that I live here as I'm exploring Midgard with Cloud Strife and seeing the citizens conversating and talking about the events that's going on. And then when you make it to pretty much Sector 7, as you exploring that area as well, you should see how bustling the town is, and everybody just living their daily life, and it's just so beautiful just imagining all this. And the thing that really gets me about this is, as I was growing up as a kid, I always imagined what Midgard would be like and me living with these characters. And since there wasn't enough Midgard, you pretty much had to use your own imagination to fill in the blanks of what the overall Midgard looked like. But now that this remake is out, they actually filled in those blanks, and now you have a rough picture of what Midgard actually looks like. Now we're gonna move on to the gameplay real quick, because the gameplay is also vital to this remake, since they've done drastic changes to it. Because as you know, the original Final Fantasy VII was turn-based. Now this time they went to an action RPG type of combat, which a lot of people were skeptical about, but I can reassure you guys that this gameplay is quite addictive. It's way better than Final Fantasy 15, which did not enjoy at all. I did not enjoy Final Fantasy 15's combat at all, but it seems like they took the best of some of the elements of Final Fantasy 15 while modifying it a bit more, and still took some of that traditional sense of the original turn-based Final Fantasy games and blend them together and made quite an appealing gameplay mechanics. And I must say that this game is not a button masher. This game requires a lot of strategy, and if you don't strategize this right, you can find yourself getting the game over screen a whole lot in this game if you're not careful. You have weapon upgrades, which I won't go into like deep details, but you can upgrade your weapons, and each weapon has their own skill tree. And once you learn these things from the skill tree, you can power up your weapon, and each weapon has their own special ability. So you have to use that weapon to get this special ability, and then you can permanently keep the ability, and you can use it on any of your favorite weapons. So I love that effect that they added to the game that was never introduced in the original Final Fantasy VII. So that's cool, since we're in a more of an action RPG rather than a turn-based. And then the materia system is pretty much how I remember it. You can level up your materia, you can attach materia to your weapons and your equipment. So they didn't really change too much about that, which is a good thing, because the materia system was really good, and that really introduced me to the intricacies of what role-playing games or what JRPGs are all about, and I'm glad they kept that intact. So when they introduce you to more and more materia, which also allows your character to do other special abilities, I think it's pretty cool. And overall, man, I'm enjoying the combat. I'm enjoying everybody's play style. They made Barrett play differently, where you get to charge his gun so you can shoot a powerful shots. Of course, Cloud has his different stances, which he has a standard stance and he has his Punisher mode. And then you also have Tifa with her unbridled chakra, where she can charge her chakra up, which also creates another I guess you could say another skill tree for her to pretty much add more damage and add more to her combo tree, which I think is pretty cool. So all three of them feel unique. I haven't yet gotten to Aerith just yet or anything. So now this is the most controversial part for me that I just want to talk about real quick and then move on. Now, like I said before, I won't spoil anything. The thing that's really questionable right now is the story. Now, the thing is, what they pretty much told us, what Square Enix had promised us, is that they're going to expand more on Midgard, which to me right now, I think they're doing a pretty good job. And they said they was going to expand more on elements that the original game had pretty much overlooked or glossed over. And I must say, when it comes to those points where they expanded on certain characters and certain plot elements, which I thought would be cool for them to flesh out, they've done a good job with that. But my biggest concern and my biggest gripes right now is that instead of just sticking to that point where they just expanded on lore that already exists, they're actually changing some of the core elements of the game as well, which is really, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this going through it, but I've caught myself rolling my eyes at a few segments that they changed where I thought that, hey, like, why did they change this? Like, this changes the overall impact of the story if they're going to continue to go down this route. So as I said before, things that they added more to, they've done a great job nailing it. But when they go into the territory where they're actually changing the core elements, the core part of the lore, that's where I'm concerned about, and it's really making me cautious right now. But overall, I'm liking the game so far. I'm enjoying myself. I played, like I said, 8 hours straight. I didn't even put the game down. I played 8 hours straight. I ended up going to bed around like 5 a.m. I had a good time with it so far. I'm enjoying it, and I'm gonna play a little bit more today. But as far as the review is concerned, I would not jump into a review of this game until probably like 2 to 3 weeks later, because what's going on right now in this, which I'm really concerned about, is that right now there's a lot of YouTubers out there right now that's throwing up their reviews right away on day one of the game's launch. And I think right now, I don't think that's a good idea, and I think that's doing their fan base a disservice. For the simple fact is, I think with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, you're going to need to give yourself some time to review this game, especially if you're an OG Final Fantasy VII fan as well, because the thing is, you have this thing called nostalgia, you know, and I've been seeing a lot of reviews to the point right now is where you got some people that's giving the game a perfect score, and then you have some people that's giving it a very low score. And that's because you have some people who just straight out fanboys, and no matter how they feel about the game right now, they just think the game is just perfect. And you got some people who are just so like deep into, you know, being the OG of the original Final Fantasy, where they're just nitpicking at every little single detail. And the thing is that's not even fair to the audience as well, because then you're not really, you know, giving your like the positives of the game. You're just nitpicking at every little single detail. So there's really no real middle ground right now. You're either a super fanboy that just think the game is perfect, or you're just an elitist fanboy to where the game is just not perfect in your eyesight because you just love the original so much. So I think that everyone should give themselves some time and let the hype go away. And those who are upset about what they experience, I think they need to give themselves some time for them to actually like play it or replay it to to get their overall genuine opinion. I think right now it's just a race to see how many clicks they can get for giving their review on such one of the most anticipated games right now. But that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to hear your thoughts. Are you playing the game right now? Are you enjoying the game? I'd definitely like to hear what you think of the new character designs for Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, Aerith, and just the citizens of Midgard, Section 7, and just overall in general. I'm like really excited. And do you think that this game's combat mechanics like addictive? Do you think this is the right choice for Square Enix to ditch the turn-based and go to this gameplay style? And what do you think, without going into spoilers at all, what do you think about what they've done with the story? Like the things that they expanded on and the things that they had changed with the overall I guess you say theme or the core elements of the story. Definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like the video, please like it, share it, pass it around. And like I said before, if you guys like the video, it definitely helps me in the algorithm. And when you guys comment, it helps me so much. You just don't understand how much of a big deal that is by you guys being interactive and involved in my content. And if you want to hear more news related to Square Enix or just Final Fantasy VII Remake in general, hit the bell to be notified. This is Mugen Lord signing off. See you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below, and don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.